Hello, YouTube. This is the lone lion roaring from the wilderness. I'm not feeling that great today. I've been feeling that great for the last couple of days. I have been given a bunch of hamburgers that was made at a cookout. They were good, they were great, but I don't eat a lot of beef. And I tried to eat them all. And I'm not feeling that great for trying to do that, which was foolish, but I don't like wasting food. These are things that you'll come to understand as you'll see more and more of my videos and the things that I do. But I don't like wasting food, so I didn't get a chance to down them all before they went bad, but it was pretty much a lot. But I'm not feeling that great. So you see me stop trying to get myself together because my stomach is killing me at the moment. But here is a small, very, very small sample of some of the books that I have. Yeah, it's actually a black man with a collection of books that's worth over, well, thousands and thousands of dollars. So I'm just gonna let you see some of them. Here's Breaking Rank here. Every black person, I don't care if you're a man or woman, you need to own this book. It tells you a lot about the police force, and it even has chapters about why they kill black men and why they do racial things towards black folks. It's actually in that book. Then you have companions to the Bible. This is pretty much the majority of the stuff that I read is Bible stuff because that's the only thing that really matters. But it's okay. I mean, it's good to have other books to complement it if you really, really want to. But I understand the Bible for what it is, even without these books. But it's nice to have the pictures of what you see, because remember, pictures are worth 1,000 words. Books without pictures are pretty much not as good as books with pictures, no matter what they tell you. Remember, they used to tell us as kids that if a book has pictures in it, it's a children's book. That's a lie. You need pictures. But like I say, pictures are worth 1,000 words, and pictures show the real truth of things that people are hiding from you. Then you have this American Theocracy book by Kevin Phillips. This book is a must. You will understand some of the things in the Bible. I'll get into it eventually, sometime soon. This book, if you pay attention to the Bible, at the end days, this is what America's going to be, a theocracy. And he's telling you that's what it is. I mean, you have to see this for yourself. And then, I'm from DC. Graduated from Anacostia, or Animalcostia is what they used to call at the time. And we didn't have, and the messed up thing is too, this is, Black Washingtonians, African American history. And it tells you about the predominant black folks that were in these places. But yet I went to school in DC because they still are a white man's system no matter which school they're in. So they don't teach you things about our history, especially when we were, these are actual pictures. This book has pictures. This is an awesome book. I recommend it for anyone, not just people in Washington DC, because this could lead you to find out about the black people in your, where you're from your city, from your state. I'm pretty sure there was a predominantly great black people there that they got phased out, is what I like to call it. But you need to have this book. I mean, it's a must for anyone's collection, no matter if you're from DC or not. But if you're from this area, you definitely need it, and you definitely need to teach your kids. And then there's classical biblical names. We really need to figure out different ways to name our kids and not these ghetto names, because it's holding them back too. And plus, the biblical names have meanings, and this book actually tells you that the Hebrews are the African American Negroes that got sent here on the slave ships. This book actually says that. Yeah, but there's still some in Africa too. So then there's The Art of the Roman Catacombs. It shows you pictures And some of these things are revised, so they show you the pictures where they've been whitewashed. But you can see some of these books where they have, some books will was it altered icons. It would actually tell you that they've been altering all of the icons and stuff like that. I even have a book called The Icon that's not out here that even tells you about that. I have lots and lots of books. I have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of books. This is my passion. Knowledge is my passion. The Holy Spirit is a woman, and she is knowledge itself. I'll teach you more about that. It's actually in the Bible. I don't understand why people didn't see some of this stuff. You need to stop getting taught by Christians and learn it yourself. Hell, don't even believe me. You need to read it yourself. But I'll bring it to your attention. This is the first video I'm making, but this might not be the first video I upload, though. But this is the first video I'm making. Lone Lion. Then the Oxford British Monarchy. This is a great book. It's illustrated too. I'll get into this one of these days. I can't get into it right now because you wouldn't understand it even if I did get into it at the moment. But this is a must in your collection for you to understand. Just like this Imperial Rome book right here is a must, because remember, Romans brought them. You have to understand this. Remember, history is connection. It's all ties. We must know history, or we're destined to repeat it, or always fall in the same traps that the people from Rome and the British monarchy are still setting right now to this day. Then we have another illustrated Bible. You know, it's good to see some of the stuff. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, where you can actually see how the ancient Babylonians looked. You can see their curly hair, their long thick beards, and their cornrows. So yeah, that also means a lot too. Another illustrated Bible, the Holman's one, and the Zondervan illustrated. I think that's how you pronounce it. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I can pronounce names of people, because we live in this world, the names aren't pronounced the way they're spelled. So, but this book right here, that's the one, right? Yes, this book right here actually has a compact edition of the book. And the compact edition of the book actually says Negro. The Negroes aren't from Ham, they're from Shem. This updated, bigger version of the book does not have that. They took it out. Took it out on purpose. This is important. This is why knowledge is important. They take things out on purpose when we find out about it. It's not in this book. I'll go over that one of these days too. It's not in this book. It's in the small version, but it's not in this one. Another illustrated one. Then the Unknown Catacombs right here. This one actually has, pictures of black folks in there, because if you understand history, not what they tell you, you understand history and research it yourself. Don't even believe me. Remember, they're telling you that these Jewish people are white. Remember, the Romans came. I wish that they would have showed it when they took the candlestick. It's actually in this book. It's in a couple other books too. When they came and sacked Jerusalem and took, they killed a lot of the Hebrews, because Jewish people and Hebrews are different. They killed a lot of the Hebrews and took them to Rome to be slave servants and gladiator games to kill them. So a lot of them hid underground and made these catacombs in order to survive. That's who they are. They tell you early Christian catacombs. No. These are Hebrews. And now they're changing. They actually have pictures of people actually doing it. They're actually changing the colors of the people on the wall. It's very, very sad. It's very sad. This is why knowledge is important. This is why books are important. So we can have actual proof of what's there and what was there before they changed it. And then this is the Septuagint right here. I'll get very deep into the Septuagint. Why? It's the only Bible besides the Dead Sea Scrolls, which I have side by side. These are the only two Bibles that you should read at the moment. Do not read the King James Version unless you have discernment. If you were not taught discernment, the King James Version will be a trap, a snare, all sorts of things to you. Because remember, I'll even get on who King James was. You have to understand this too. A lot of people, they're not telling you the truth. They only care about their own heart's desires. My heart desires is to serve y'all, period. It does not matter what my heart feels. My heart wants to do some stupid crap and and be forgiven for it. That's not the way that the world works, and that's not the way it's going to work with Yah. I am his servant. I have no problem with being one. So I'm willing to tell you the knowledge that I have, and I'm not a teacher. I am not a teacher. That's no one's a teacher. All the prophets are dead. God is no longer with us. We're just fishermen. We are just teaching what we have been taught. There's no teachers. There's no preachers. Remember, the Levites are the only ones that can administer the word of God. And most of us don't know if we're Levites or not. Yes, there's Levites actually in every tribe. There's Levites here. You might know some of them in your family, but they still have not been ordained by God to do it yet, because they don't even know who they are. But yes, there are Levites here. If they're not a Levite, they can't teach the word. So all your ministers, preachers, deacons is teaching the word as if they have a flock, and if they're a shepherd, they're liars. The only people that can do it are the Levites. If you're not a Levite, you cannot do it. I'm just teaching, because I don't know if I'm a Levite or not. I'm just teaching you what has been taught to me. That's all. And so I'm just going over these books. This is a small sample of books that I have. I have an ebook reader, ebook reading software on my computer that's full of books. I have tons of more books on my shelves, but I'm not bringing them all out. It's just too much work to do this. And just bringing these out is a hassle because they're heavy. These are hardback books. I rarely ever collect paperback books. I just don't. They don't last as long. They damage easy, and they're not as worth as much money. This collection alone right here is worth a pretty penny. Dude, this book right here, this Jewish art book, is $100 at least. That Catacombs book is another book that's $100 at least. That Art of the Catacombs books right there, the books that show, excuse me, the books that show the catacombs in ancient Jewish art, especially in picture where you can actually see the proof of these people and who they were, they're very expensive because they do not want you to know these things. So if you want to have them in your collection to show your family, your kids, and everyone else, to give them a sense of, I guess, pride. I don't even know if you can even call it pride, because we're here because of our pride. And some of the stupid things we've done, that we wanted to follow the Gentiles and everything else, so now they rule over us. I'll go over that too. It's a lot of stuff I'll go over that most people don't go over. And why 66% of all the living Hebrews, especially the ones in the United States of America, are going to die. People don't really talk about that, but it's true. They're going to die. This is nothing to be played with. This is our own family. They're going to die. And I'll get into more of that. I mean, because I'm from D.C. I grew up in D.C. when it was the murder capital for years and years and years. I grew up in the 90s. Yes. We create monsters. Yes, we do. I'll get into all this, but just thought I'd just show you. Thought it was going to be quick, but I see it's 13 minutes video on some. This is, like I said, this is a very small sample. I have books stacked up everywhere. I have tons of books. I read and research. That's my passion. My passion is research and knowledge and wisdom. Later, YouTube.